far, other than the twin one, since you kind of have to dedicate yourself to that if you play it.
Yes.
Well, I'm really interested to see what's going on here. And there's one card in particular that I'm hoping that we see here as Game 1 gets underway.
Okay, well, let us know what it is when you see it.
I'll let you know.
Okay, we're beginning with the die roll. Kamal is taking the first die roll. 8. And we got a 7. All these die rolls are so close.
They are close. And high numbers, too.
Yes.
Like 9s and 8s.
I see an ash in Kamal's hand. There's a blue, I believe.
All right, Kamal starts off with Spright starter. That gets
Ash
hit
Blossom.
by Ash. Next up is Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial is going to go ahead and send a Nimble Angler to the graveyard.
Oh, you mentioned this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's like kind of going back to the old school roots of playing Nimble Angler at the beginning of Spright.
And as always, Nimble Angler is going to bring out 2 more Nimble monsters, and those are the Nimble Beavers.
I mean, you don't even have to worry about the Ash Blossom anymore.
Nope, you already baited it out with the starter. And it's not like you could just hold back on it. You kind of need to block the starter.
Yeah.
Because if you block the starter and they have nothing, well, then you're in business.
So we're going into a Spright Jet. Jet is going to add a spell, another copy of Spright Starter. Well, since it can't be activated this time, he's probably going to save it up perhaps for later, or perhaps set it to give him another, perhaps carrot or red later on.
You go 2 for Gigantic Spright. Oh, he's got the ultimate. That's a nice looking card.
That's beautiful.
And on that, Raymond stops to have a good think about it. And he's going to go with Wandering Griffin Rider.
I mean, this is the only opportunity after, if he activates it after, it's not going to be possible. So this is the only opportunity for that Griffin Rider before the activation of the Gigantic Spright.
And you saw it there on top of Kamal's deck, the emergency teleport. So as if Spright with its 3 Spright starters wasn't good enough, why don't we add 3 more in the form of emergency teleport?
Is it really worth it for just summoning on a level 2 Gamma?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? You can say that about Sprite Starter as well. You know, I mean, you're just summoning out a level 2 monster. Sometimes it gets you another card. Sometimes it's your other thing. But what you need is just level 2s.
It's true.
You just need to keep going beyond if your opponent stops you with something like an Ash Blossom.
Or Book of Moon.
Or Book of Moon,
oh, yeah,
for example.
Like that. Okay.
Like if your first card gets flipped face down, you just need to keep continuing.
I mean, if you're already playing the Psyframe driver and the Psyframe Gear Gamma, it just makes sense to just put it in just to get the monster out.
And it's been popular specifically against Kashtira. There's a lot of stuff you can do to just force them into the Gamma. Especially because of Rise Heart's mandatory trigger, for instance.
But right now we're seeing the Tri-Brigade monsters come out, and we also have Pit Knight.
Oh, yeah, I love this too, the Pit Knight early. So it doesn't have to be your opponent's monster that it points to that activates its effect. So you can do something like this where you have IP Masquerena and early there, and activate IP and then chain early to 0 out and negate the effect of something your opponent has.
Mm-hmm. And we just got the...
Yeah, so Nerval was sent to the graveyard.
There's Bearbrum. So there's a Tri-Brigade Revolt added to hand. That's, although you might be locked into level 2s normally, but that's not going to really matter once you pass turn.
Yep. Yeah, Raymond's going to take a look at early here. You don't see her too much, but she is quite strong if you can set up the right circumstance for it. And I think what leads people to underestimate her is that they think of, well, this is going to be the first thing I summon. It's going to be the extra monster zone. My opponent's never going to put something somewhere where she points to. But that's not how you're meant to use this card. You're supposed to use it as like a secondary link monster that's pointing to your own monster that you're going to use the effect of.
Does this card need to chain directly to the activation?
Yes.
So there is a little window of opportunities to kind of block that effect.
It's like Thunder Dragon Titan.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Attempt to lead main and enter battle.
Oh, we're going into battle phase.
Yep.
That's going to force the activation of the IP Masquerena. And we also got the Pit Knight as well. I believe you did point to the Griffin Rider.
Yep. So Griffin Rider zeroed out, and now we've got a 2-material Appaloosa here. That's 1,600, can't be destroyed by card effects, and we're still in the main phase. Appaloosa is going to negate the effect of Nimble Beaver, go down to 800 attack. And then Tri-Brigade Revolt hits.
Oh, and the Beavers are also beast monsters. You have the Beast Warrior, Wing Beast. And,
They are. So that's 4.
You do have the arrows to summon into your Link summon.
Yep, 3 point towards you with Appaloosa. And send all of that to the graveyard for Shureg.
Shureg upon summon, I believe you get to banish a card.
Takes out the only level 2, and this is another example of why you need all of those starter type cards like Spright Starter and Emergency Teleport to have ways to keep going after things like this happen.
Yes. And I wonder if Raymond is going to have the follow-up to keep going. There's the starter. And there's the Ash. Everyone's just preventing those level 2s from landing onto the field. And that's enough. Wow, that was a quick game, but it was very decisive.
And we did get to see a bunch of cool stuff in there. I like early a lot. Very similar hands in a way.
Yes.
Both started with, starter Ash. If it goes the other way around, the game could be completely different.
Yeah.
But I liked seeing the Tri-Brigades in action. They did their whole thing. It really did look a lot like the old Tri-Brigade deck, just with Spright tacked onto it.
Mm-hmm.
We got Bear Brum, we saw Appaloosa, we got the Revolt. It's all there, and you can play all of it.
Yeah, and I was kind of surprised. I was like, maybe we'll see Ancient Warriors, Double Dragon Lords. That's a pretty
Another
easy...
powerful Link 2 monster as well.
So you're even under the Link 2 level 2 rank 2 lock, you can still summon that monster. Another way to just remove another monster off of the field.
Good one, too. I didn't even think about Ancient Warriors at that point. I was just thinking about the regular Tri-Brigade stuff.
And you can even summon it, and you get to summon it off of the effect of the Tri-Brigade monsters.
Yep. And most of those are level 2 as well. It's like Kit and Karis,
yes,
both level 2s. It's just the Nerval which you're sending to the graveyard anyways.
Yeah, I guess that card wouldn't really matter, but that card will give you the free search.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we don't need Fractal, and I think that's where people get tripped up a lot, is that they try to delve too far into the Tri-Brigade.
Yes.
Fractal's probably a bit over the line. Tanky is way over, I think.
Yeah, I think you should still keep it within, this is a Spright deck.
Right.
And we'll just play within the restrictions that they have. And try to dodge those restrictions. I mean, that's the key thing. Where's the balance?
Yeah, that's the tricky thing when you're trying to blend these strategies together, is like if you get too into one of it and you're thinking, oh yeah, no, this is so cool, I'm actually just going to play 2 decks together, you might end up playing 0 decks.
There are certain cards that you probably do not want to see in your opening hand. The cards that you want to leave in the deck because you can just fetch it out in using the other card effects. Absolutely. I've experienced that many times. But the best way to kind of figure out is to build the deck, try it out, and you take it to locals.
And that's the thing. Like if you want to win and you want to do well with your own original creation, you really do have to put in the work.
Yes. Seems like both players are just about done siding here. I wonder how they're going to tackle the matchup once the side card comes in. I mean, the choice of getting to go first. How are you going to, keep that advantage of going first?
Probably just going to be really similar stuff. I mean, their hands are so similar in the first game.
It is true.
I wouldn't be shocked to see kind of a repeat just going the other way.
I wonder if there are any cards within the mirror match that you could use, like, one card, maybe stop the whole turn. I'm not too sure if that's available for this one. Or are they just going to go card for card, block the level 2?
Yeah. Yeah, we're going into game 2. I'm burning my brain thinking about this. Think less, watch more, I think is what I'm going to do.
Oh, yes.
All right. Kamal sets his extra deck back aside.
I think they're just getting ready. They're just waiting for the signal. I'm hoping to see some of Raymond's cards that I can see on this list. Maybe we'll get a chance to see it now.
Ooh,
we can start.
I just see a certain... There's no way, right?
Stand by. Man. Effective Enchantress.
We're going to go with the Enchantress opening. I mean, we already saw the Griffin Rider, so this is not too much of a surprise.
Anything on res?
No, but it is a nice start. You don't really want to draw the Griffin Rider and have to deploy it as just a defender
Yeah.
in the middle of your opponent's turn. It's not the ideal way to use that card.
We're going to see the tokens being summoned in defense position, and the Faithful Avenger is going to be placed onto the field. I remember there was a time where players played 2 copies of Faithful Avenger just in case the first one, after the first interaction with it, they wanted a second copy just so they can keep going with it.
Effective Faithful to add a monster.
Faithful is activated to get the monster now.
Where is that Griffin Rider? There it is.
And discarding...
And we're going to discard
Nimble Angler.
Nimble Anglers. I love this play. But we're going to see a Psyframe Gear Gamma activated in response.
And a chain to that with the Griffin Rider. So Griffin Rider hits, Psyframe Gear Gamma hits, Psyframe Driver hits, and Nimble Angler does not.
But Nimble Angler is not once per turn.
It's true.
You might have blocked it for now, but we're going to see if there's going to a repeat on that Nimble Angler.
You can see there, Raymond's also playing the emergency teleports.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. You just want the level 2s.
We haven't seen it earlier today either. So when I saw it this round, I was like, yes, okay, good.
That's a similarity between the 2 lists, that both of them are on the emergency teleport.
And it's especially important in a case like this where you wouldn't get any use out of those gammas otherwise after the driver is banished.
Yeah, that's true. You at least get some value and minimize the possibility of maybe drawing into it. And that's like, without the driver, it just feels sometimes pretty awkward.
Starter's going to go ahead and get red on the field.
Oh, does he have the other 2s to follow? I mean, it's great to actually have Starter right away because once you special summon your other Spright cards, you don't have to worry about their effects being negated, especially from monster effects.
And Imperm's out as well.
Yeah,
so it's only going to be a monster effect at this point.
Spright Blue special summon in defense position. We're going to add Spright Jet. Raymond's about to special summon the Jet in defense position.
5 defense position monsters.
We're not getting hit by Lightning Storm today.
Nope. And I don't think we're seeing Scareclaw Tryhard again this weekend. That's likely.
We're going for a Spright Double Cross. Okay. Well, if he's going to be grabbing Double Cross, I'm going to see where this is going to go now.
Sends 2 to the graveyard to Link Summon.
Sprint. Sprint effect. We are... there's the second Angler.
And this time it is going to go through and bring 2 beavers to the field.
What a great follow-up. That's the thing. When the card isn't once per turn, if you can keep going, you put it out. But you have to negate Angler. There's no way you don't negate that card.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I love how Raymond now is using the extra monster zone for his cards, especially for the cards coming up with the extra deck. Because the positioning here is really, really tight.
Yeah, especially, so you got that double cross out of your deck, right? So you have to keep that in mind as well if you want to use it on your opponent's turn.
Oh, we're going to see a Swap Frog.
Yes. Yes. So this is an interesting combo. We're going to get the Swap Frog. And this is going to involve Reproducus, turning something into an Aqua Monster.
That is a completely different line. I did not expect that at all, to be honest.
Yeah, this is something that's come up just in the last couple of weeks.
There it is.
Declare Aqua.
Declare Aqua.
Turns into an Aqua, and now we get the Toad.
That is some shape-shifting ability right there. Now we got the Totally Awesome. I love seeing this card.
So now we can set the double cross here, negate something with the Toad, and then double cross the Toad back, and it's Spright Elf at home.
I love this play. I love the double toading.
It's cool. I really love both of these decks that they brought today. They're very nice.
Dark Ruler no more has been activated, but there's no damage going through. Totally Awesome can still,
Yep. So
Yep,
he's
we're gonna
gonna
pay cost.
tribute it here. It'll still be negated, but he can now get it back with the double cross.
And on top of that, because it got sent to the graveyard, it's going to activate, potentially add back
Effective turn.
a beaver.
Target Beaver.
Yes, we're going to get back a beaver.
And we saw that was in response to the emergency teleports. Let's see if Kamal can make use of this extra level 2 monster to get things going. The rest of his hand doesn't look fantastic. I see Spright Red in there. Some spell cards.
I wonder if Raymond wants to respond with his double cross just to put the Totally Awesome back up, just to
I think
pressure
he does.
with the negation.
Because we mentioned this before in that last match with the artifact Lancia, that there is a point after the chain resolves that you can use fast effects before your opponent can use one of their non-fast effects. And we see it here that Raymond goes ahead and uses the double cross to bring back a level 2 or a rank 2 monster to a zone that his rank link 2 monster points to.
We got the Totally Awesome. This one is live now. It's got a negation, and it could potentially set a card over.
Yes, this is a bit of a tough one. But now we know that barring something like an Ash Blossom from hand, that Toad is Raymond's last line of defense this turn. Next turn is a different story. There's a lot of things we still have to accomplish here if we're going to stay in this one.
Even if the rest of the board is destroyed here, removed from the field, you're still going to have to answer to the Nimble Beaver that was added to hand. There's a lot of follow-up.
All right, and there's the token as well. The Fateful Adventure is still on the field.
Potentially Draco back.
Spright Red, it's special summon.
Yeah, that is level 2. It is Gamma.
Rather, Spright Carrot.
Carrot, yes, it's a carrot. Mannequin Cat, oh. See, going second with a Mannequin Cat is such a strong play, especially in a mirror match where you just have all the right cards for all the right type, for all the right attributes.
Mannequin Cat goes ahead and activates. And it takes a quick look at it. You can detach to special summon a monster from your opponent's graveyard to their field. And you do that because Mannequin Cat can also special summon a monster from your deck to the field that matches its attribute.
So we're attempting to special summon from the... Oh, so we're negating the Mannequin Cat. At least we're attempting to by activating the Totally Awesome. And we're destroying it, and we are setting it over. So that is considered as a special summon.
Effective turn.
And Toad, once again, gets to activate in the graveyard. Going for Nimble Angler.
All right, but he's got the starter, and this is why you need multiple cards like that.
You just kept on going. Kamal is just now taking advantage of more or less the opened up game state.
Yep, not out of it yet, and now he knows that barring Ash Blossom, which didn't happen because otherwise it would have been shotgunned on that starter, that he can do the rest of his plays unimpeded.
I think that's like this is the skill level that we're looking at here, where you assess all the things that you can do, but you always held back the one key play that you have to go through, and you kept it, and now we're seeing it happen right here. From the blue to the jet to another starter.
Will it be enough? I don't know.
It's going to be a tough one.
Might be a little tough.
This is very tough.
But, if you're going to get there, this is how it's going to have to happen. Sprint is up next.
I mean, there's a lot of board development here. We're repeating with the Angler. There is no Ash Blossom, unless somehow Raymond held on to it, but...
And that would be just next level stuff, saving it for this Angler right here. That would be brutal.
Yeah, but that doesn't seem like that's the case. We're going to see the Nimble Beaver being summoned out from Kamal's deck. We can see potentially a gigantic Spright moving on. Even so, that Griffin Rider, I'm not sure if it's going to live through this turn. I think it has to go, or else or else there's no way you can play through it. There's just a negation there. Oh,
we're detaching for gigantic Spright.
They detach the correct monster, of course, and you get to keep the
Yes.
doubled original attack.
You need that Link monster under there to keep it.
Yes.
He's going to get into the Tri-Brigade portion of his deck.
I think that
Special
might be
summon
enough.
Tri-Brigade kit. There's a plenty of things in there. You can banish 2. You could get that double Dragon Lords.
Yep.
This is going places.
Could this be a struggle for Raymond's? And if there's going to be like Tri-Brigade Revolt, maybe there's going to be even more cards.
And presumably, since he got the starter, he's already has Smashers.
We're going to
Gamma Burst. But
going to battle phase. We're going to attack into the Griffin Rider. Griffin Rider now destroyed. I think that's the key monster that needed to be removed. All the other monsters don't really actually do very much aside from holding the space.
So we're going for another Link 2 here for IP Masquerena.
That's going to load the graveyard full of beast monsters, which would be the Nimble Beaver.
We're going to go ahead and banish 2 Beavers.
And there's a lot. Now, are we going to see Bear Brum? Kamal does have cards in his hand, so he could technically get it, but
you could special summon a monster with
Farigid. Does Farigid need to summon to an arrow, or is that something else? No, that's something else.
We're going to link here as well for another 2. There's Bear Brum.
This has been, I believe this is Link summoned correctly.
Yep, the Bear Brum is. So we can cycle a card through our hand, draw and discard with Farigid, and we're going to be able to grab... sorry, not grab, but send Tri-Brigade Nerval to the graveyard with Kit.
And the Nerval is going to add another card. Gonna draw, and then...
Yeah, that one not so good.
Not so
Let's
good.
Put it right back.
But now I think that is Nerval adding the Karis. Karis being a level 2, and you can special summon it from the hand. Just more and more ways to put level 2s onto the field. Is that a normal summon?
Yeah, I don't believe he's used his normal summon yet.
No, it really held it back.
Because we had, Starter, we had Emergency Teleport, we had Gigantic Spright. We've had various special summons as a result of that. Now we have 2 more cards banished for the Double Dragon Lords.
And Double Dragon Lords is summoned into Rhipodocus' Link Arrow. And we're going to send it to return the token.
Yes. It eliminates the token completely. That's the next thing.
Bear Brum now.
Now Barum's going to get you the Revolt. This is turning out really well.
This turn is incredible. Note that there is no damage going through.
Correct.
Because we are still under Dark Ruler no more.
So life points still the same. Set 2 and pass. And really, that was incredibly well done by Kamal. Even if Raymond comes back and takes this one, I'm just really impressed by what we saw in this past turn.
Yes.
And it's no given that Raymond, even with a grip full of 5 cards, is going to be able to do it, because this is tough.
This is very, very hard. I think the best part right now for Raymond is that he does have a Link 2 monster on the field, which could potentially lead to some special summoning. Because not all the Spright monster can special summon off the same kind of characteristics. The fire ones, I believe, are the ones that summon from the Link monsters. And the dark ones summon from the Xyz.
Matches the attributes of their counterparts.
That's right.
Of course, they can all special summon off of level 2 monsters.
Yes.
Now, the Fateful Adventure was unable to be cleared. It picks up Water Enchantress for Raymond, and he pitches Nimble Angler.
Well, that's going to generate the level 2 that we just mentioned.
It's going to resolve successfully. Beaver number 1.
But how long will that Beaver stay on the field? That's the real question.
Is in attack position. What's it over there?
There is the IP Masquerena. There's also the Tri-Brigade Revolt. And, the reason why I mentioned why Bear Brum being special summoned correctly, being Link summoned correctly, is because you can also just go for the Bear Brum. Even if you need to go for a Link 4, you don't need to summon all 4 monsters to do it. You can just do it with 3.
Alright, so we're checking the graveyard real fast. The timing is crucial here on this revolt.
Oh, we are seeing it. He's gonna. Yes, yes, it is.
And the time is now. Tri-Brigade Revolt is activated.
Well, there's more than enough bees. There's the Farragut.
I think he summoned that off of kits. You hardly
The
make
Farragut was not correctly
That
summoned.
one,
It was
but
just the
there's
bear.
the bear brum. There's the bear brum. Oh, but if he goes for the Nerval, there's a potential additional card that could be added.
Alright, so 3 monsters there.
It's 4-3, 4 or 3. Probably gonna be a Link 4.
Seems likely. We've got Shreg there.
Just the way that the play's extended so far just amazes me here. And the Nimble Beaver gets banished.
And then the Nerval and Bearbrum happen. Gets Tri-Brigade Kit.
That's just loading up his hand, ready for the next turn.
And nothing else there with Bearbrum. I think he may only play one Revolt. Might be the only thing that Bearbrum can get.
I think, you probably just need the one-turn disruption. If you can just maintain it so they don't get anything. I mean, the Shurig is a very big monster, and we're seeing...
Now, if you forgot about the IP Masquerena, I don't blame you. We haven't heard from her very much
Yes.
in the last few series of plays. But she's still there, and now Appaloosa is there as well. And this one was made with 1, 2...
Was there a third monster? I might have just missed it.
I might have missed it as well. But Double Dragon Lords is still on the field. Shurig is in the graveyard. And 1, 2, 3... Yeah, I think there was a third monster used there. There had to be, because it can't just be IP and Shurig.
Those numbers do not add up.
effect of what
He's going to go for the right.
That can't be negated by Appaloosa.
We're going to let that go through.
Appaloosa at 3 would be 24.
24. And can't be destroyed by card effects,
Yo,
thanks
yes,
to IP Masquerena.
Oh, that could be really big. So there's perhaps three activations for Appaloosa, and there's still the Double Dragon Lords. There's quite a few things to play through right now.
And there's a face down card.
I mean, that is the Mannequin Cat.
No, I mean over on Kamal's side.
That's right, that's right.
He's got that over there, which could be...
That is a Double Dragon Lords
Yep, so just sends the kit
from the hand.
from the hand.
And it's the one that you just added with Nerval.
Mm-hmm.
What? Look, that's like thinking many, many steps ahead.
And he waited for the Dracoback to be there too. So the Dracoback goes and it doesn't have anything to equip back to. Now if that face down is something like it'd be a Smashers maybe? If it's Smashers, you could banish the Double Dragon Lords, maybe try to keep them off.
Mm-hmm. Well, Raymond is he's got to keep going.
All right, we've got Gigantic Spright.
We're going to battle phase. We're going to. Oh, there is a.
It is Smashers. Banishes Spright Blue. He'll banish a 2 from his field. And that'll take out Gigantic Spright. Mannequin Cat, not going to be able to win this fight. 24 versus 2,000.
Yeah, that's not happening. The battle phase. What a way to just cut off the battle phase.
Well, takes a look at his extra deck. There's not a whole lot left there. There's only about 6 cards.
Raymond seems like he still has a pretty decent hand size, but I believe one of those cards is a Gamma. And the other card is a Drone Lockbird. But a lot of the cards have been committed now that the game has been kind of opened up a little bit.
And he's attacking.
It's clearing his own field.
So the important thing here, I think, is that an Xyz monster battled. His main phase 2 play may be to try to get into Zeus here, since I don't believe he's locked himself into 2s. Because he didn't use the effect of Gigantic Spright, right? He attacked.
But he passed turn. Oh, that's a big card. Oh, that's the reason why he
That
cleared
would
it for the
also
Gamma.
be a good reason to clear. You can negate that with Apollosa, but it's going to stay in hand. Apollosa doesn't actually destroy the card it negates.
That is such a great play. I guess you have to negate it, but now that you know that there is a Gamma in hand that's going to restrict a lot of its movement, you can keep on going like for each effect he tries to go through. So Raymond can use that to his advantage to minimize the amount of damage that he would potentially take here. And if he managed to burn out most of Apollosa's attack, then there's nothing really to worry about afterwards. But this is going to be able to mainly be used to reduce the amount of damage right now. Special summon out Spright Jet. Yeah, it's going to be every activation, every card. But that's still 2 monsters that are level 2 on the field.
So what did Beaver do in this case? If it was summoned, its effect was activated.
Yeah, the effect was activated, and we got a search, and the draw and Lockbird comes down. Every card was useful.
He's down to nothing, though, other than that Gamma.
Oh, yes, he forgot to summon out, like, because
Yeah, I was
the
gonna say,
Appaloosa.
You have to actually
Resolve
summon
the
your
card.
thing with
Maybe he
Beaver.
thought it didn't go through for a second there. But I don't think it would have changed anything with the Spright Jet.
No, I think
That's just coming out after.
Yeah.
And it's not like a card was drawn or anything.
It's not like you can change what you would have summoned with Beaver. There's only one thing you could have summoned with Beaver.
Well, things are looking pretty good for Kamal.
So Apollosa's got one more shot in the quiver.
And we're going to see a Spright starter.
And that one can actually deal with it. Like on a more permanent basis, if you tribute a link to a rank 2 monster.
I don't think that's going to be too difficult to put onto the field, unless, of course, looking at the extra deck size. I mean, is there anything left in the tank?
Sure, there's plenty of stuff that you can play in Spright. You can get like a Soul Sweeper out there, or a Gin Buster. There's all sorts of stuff.
He's got a second sprint as well. But the sprint probably won't have as much value. I don't think there's much in the Angler tank.
Early could come out here and be pointing at Apollosa. So you'd get double negations there.
We're going to see a gigantic Spright. It's going to activate. Apollosa just...
And this will also shut it down because enforcing the level 2 lock stops you from summoning Driver. And if you can't summon Driver, you can't use Gamma.
Perfectly timed on the last activation of the Apollosa.
It's now at no attack points. So I imagine she's going to go take a break and let Sprint do its thing.
In terms of damage, well, the 16, 14, sorry, not 14, 13, 14, and 12. Raymond still has life points to keep going.
He's got to have special summons, so that's what we need here is
Yes.
special summons. I don't know that one more card does it, though.
And we already know the card in hand is a Gamma.
Yeah.
That's
The Droll, unfortunately, I think was a turn too late.
Yes.
13 puts me at 39. 14 puts me at 20. Okay. That's right.
Doing a little math.
I did 13 points.
Make sure we get those life points correct.
900.
I mean, sometimes you don't need to finish off the opponent. You just got to make sure that you get the turn back and get to finish them off, then, a later turn.
All right, so the Fateful Adventure is still in play here. Let's take a look, see how many water enchantresses he's got left. Most of these decks play 3. Well, we will know shortly whether or not he does, and it appears that he does not. It might be only a 2 of there.
I don't think they're... Oh, and Kamal takes this one.
Oh, smashers. Top deck smashers. Wow. That was, I mean, it was 2-0, but it was a really good match.
Yes.
And
the amount of interaction, the way that they pushed through, that was incredible.
Like, Raymond's start in that game 2 was so strong. He basically, it was old Spright.